Happy April Fools, you guys. Today is Monday, and it has been a cold day here in the South, which is honestly shocking. It's not normal for us here, so it's been kind of, I don't know, I still enjoyed it. I sat outside earlier and did a fire in our little fire pit and ended up cooking dinner outdoors, so it was nice. So I've thought on it and I've decided I want to do a podcast in between doing my videos. Because, and this is a big reason for me, it is difficult for me to grab my camera and do videos every day. I honestly enjoy, sharing material and stuff with people, just chatting or whatever. So it's a little bit easier for me to grab my laptop and just start recording. So if this is something you guys actually enjoy, be sure to let me know. I mean, I really enjoy chatting and talking about things of interest. It is actually a little bit easier for me to do so, like I said, without a camera in front of me. One, because, setting up the camera and making sure the kids are occupied so I can focus and everything on what I'm doing. But also in general, just my shyness. I am actually shy in front of the camera and stuff at times. So things that I will be discussing on the podcast, oh my gosh, they will range because that's why I actually do the podcast, do it as a lifestyle because I have so many interests and stuff whenever it comes to my life. Some of my interests include the genealogy stuff. I've done the DNA testing and built my tree and helped others do the same thing, helped adoptees find their birth families and build their trees. I am interested in cooking, creative things. Like, I love to create. I actually used to draw. I used to draw a lot. Now I don't so much. I do enjoy getting into crafts. I like to crochet and knit and stuff like that, but that might be something that is more video oriented, since you really can't show through this unless I'm talking about projects I do and post a picture of it into the podcast video. But outside of that, that'd be kind of hard. Um, I have so many interests when it comes to books and articles I've read. I love stuff dealing with self-help, I guess you could say, or self-motivation. I love to help motivate others and build their confidence and help them learn how to go from being negative to positive and pulling in positive uh, things into their life versus pulling in negative things. I've read a lot on the whole thing of the law of attraction. Oh my gosh, the laws of the universe of success, or maybe it's like universal laws of success or something like that. Uh, oh my gosh, I can't even think. Like, oh my gosh, just talking in general about how the days are going. No, what's new, what's coming up, stuff like that. So tonight I'm going to actually just share a little bit and everything. So like I'd said and stuff, it's been cold here today. It's shockingly cold. It's not normal. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I like the fact that it's not hot because maybe that means that our summer will be mild-ish. And I was able to try out our little fire pit today. We bought this little fire pit. We've been wanting to get a new grill because our old one's just it's had it just about. I mean, I could still grill on it, and I do, but it's it's not like, I don't know how to put it. Like the whole grate thing where you put your coals, you can't have it on the hooks to lift it up closer to your oh my gosh, I don't even know what they call those the grates and stuff where you put your food. You can't lift it up higher because it is rusted. So we were looking about getting a cowboy grill. We wanted to put this cowboy grill in the corner part of our porch where we could have a little fire pit, use it as a fire pit on some nights and stuff, and use it to cook because I really enjoy outdoor cooking, and this will actually be something that I plan on doing in the future, doing videos on, because I absolutely love outdoor cooking. I started doing outdoor cooking on the grill using my cast iron and stuff, and my husband had showed me this cowboy grill. It had the little rotisserie thing on it and the hook where you can hang your smaller Dutch oven style pots from, like when you're cooking stews and stuff. And it had, like, I think it was 2-layer grading system on it, but that was like $200. And we decided to just start looking at like fire pits. So he found this really cute. I mean, I say it's cute. I say everything's cute, but he found this, you know, little fire pit it's not extremely little like the ones you get from Walmart, but it's actually cheaper and it's good quality. It came from Cabela's, and I like the way it has the lid that stays on it, and you just open the little door on it and stuff. And it's got a cooking uh, rack that comes with it that you can put over your fire. And I told him, I said, we get it in, I'll make you some bison chili. We were supposed to have gotten it tomorrow, but it came in on Saturday, which was really good. I'm like, really good, really cool. Um, yeah, it was honestly shocking because it got here fast. We had ordered it on Thursday. He got it on sale, which it was original price was like $100 something, and he got it for like 50 or a little over 50, not much over, maybe 53 or somewhere up in there. So it was basically like 50% off, and free 2-day shipping. Can't beat that. And it's really nice. I like it. So he got it put together and stuff Saturday, and I went to the store today. I got bison to make the chili, and I tried to find firewood to make the fire in it, which of course the stores, with it not being winter, decided against selling firewood. So luckily I had some scrap wood out there. We had like some, I think it was white pine. That's what it smelled like anyways. Like some white pine pieces of wood out there, scrap from either pallets or something. I mean, we're always getting scrap wood from stuff. And it actually burned really good. It took me like no time to get the fire going. Within maybe a minute or two, I had my cast iron skillet on the grate over the fire, getting my oil hot to start sauteing the onions and everything, and then cooking the meat. And I had dinner completely cooked in, I think, less than an hour. Honestly, it might have taken between 30 to 40 minutes to fully cook it, or it might have taken a little more time than that. But I know it was less than an hour because I started cooking a bit after 1 o'clock. I finished maybe before 2 o'clock or just a little after. So yeah. And my oldest son is really good at making cornbread, so we actually had him make the cornbread to go with it. So we had bison chili and cornbread tonight, and it was really, really good. Um, A few other things of interest I'll probably cover on my channel through podcast and video is health and wellness. It's actually part of a life journey that myself and my husband are going through right now. I have, I don't even want to call it health problems. I, oh my gosh, I don't even know I mean, I guess it would be health problems, but I don't know. Um, I have scoliosis. So when I was 11, fixed to be 12, I was diagnosed with that and ended up having to have the surgery. I have a Harrington rod with Wisconsin wiring in my back. And that goes from like the base of my neck, maybe, I think it is, like right around the base part of the cervical spine, to, I want to say it goes all the way down to my tailbone. That's what I've always been told, but I'm not positive. It comes close to my tailbone, I think, because the way I remember the rod looking when I first had my surgery done and seeing it now looks totally different, but that could be due to the fact that I have grown up. So everything in there has, like my bones wise and everything has grown larger. So it's made things look different. Like honestly thought I had like these big, like metal L-shaped hooks in my back or something, but I don't. I have like wire, these little buttons on my spine, on the bone and stuff, and this wire that goes, I think it's on the bone, and the wire that goes through it, and it literally looks like somebody took baling wire off of bales of hay and just like wired up, or like florist wire or something, just wired up this chunk of metal to my spine. It looks really crazy. As a matter of fact, I might, if I can find the picture, I might pop up a little picture of my back of my X-ray that I last had done. It's just so crazy looking. Um, let's see here. Besides that, let's see. I had that done, which has resulted in me to have cervical spondylosis. I do not know how long I've had cervical spondylosis. I'm sure it's been many years now because I have had like arthritis, feeling pain in my neck and my shoulders and stuff for years, like so many years. I don't even remember how many years it's been, but I know even before I had children, I was eating Advil like crazy for the pain because I'd get really bad migraines from it. Like my neck would get tired feeling. I would get migraines from it. So like for a really long time, I know since 2009, I've been taking, or I stopped last year. And I'll explain why here in a minute, but I was taking 800 milligrams of ibuprofen at least once a day. Not too bad. Some days I didn't have to. If I didn't have any pain and stuff, I wouldn't. But there were days when I was taking 800 milligrams at least once a day, if not twice, but not that often twice, usually just once. And nobody bothered to tell me that, this is bad for your liver. The doctors actually told me that my body can withstand that much in the time frame in between and said that this won't bother you. Only thing I was ever told not to take a lot of or at all was Tylenol. If I could keep from taking Tylenol, not to, because I have a genetic liver disorder. And this is not why I stopped taking the Advil. I mean, I'll get around to that in a minute. I mean, it's partly the reason, but not the actual reason why. But yeah. So I found out last year I had cervical spondylosis. I had my old PCP do an X-ray of my back because it'd been like ages since it'd been checked. And I told him, I want it checked just to make sure everything's still good with the rod and, nothing's slipped or anything. Make sure nothing's causing any problems and blah, 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 blah. Because I know my curve has come back. It used to be almost straight, and now it's come back like all the way back from me. Oh my gosh, it's hard to explain. I was like 40-degree curve before surgery. After surgery, they improved it so well that I was almost completely straight, and now the curve's back, and I've got the twist and everything. So that's gotten worse. I can tell because it hurts even more, which I think that's just from the weight that I'm carrying. But yeah, so the genetic liver disorder is called Gilbert syndrome, and this affects an enzyme. Basically, what I'm trying to remember what it is. I don't even remember the name of the enzyme, and right now I wouldn't even be able to pronounce the pathway that it affects. Basically, it's like the UGT1A or UGT1A, something like that. Enzyme it's lacking in my liver, and it's not that the liver itself is lacking that enzyme. I mean, it is, but it's due to the fact that the genes I carry cause my liver not produce enough of this enzyme, which binds to certain chemicals and stuff. Tylenol, acetaminophen, is one of those chemicals that it binds to detox out of my body. Steroidal hemorrhoids, not hemorrhoids, steroidal hormones. Oh my gosh, y'all are going to be laughing at me, I'm sure. I'm trying to say hemorrhoids again. Hormones, such as estrogen and I don't even remember what else, like different hormones and stuff, bind with this enzyme, I think it is, or whatever it is. Um, it helps detox all of that out of my system. And when that does not happen, I end up with basically like my estrogen literally takes and reabsorbs into my body, which can cause estrogen. So basically, I get told that it is non-life threatening. There's nothing you can do about it, and it only causes jaundice, um, which there are other complications that can go along with increased bilirubin, and just the little things like the fact that your liver doesn't fully detox. It can cause um, like a toxin overload. I mean, some people already can go through that with other things and stuff, but I mean, it's things that nobody really talks about when you go to the doctor. I've done like tons of reading up on this, and even through experience and stuff of my own personal health experiences and everything, I've learned so much. It's crazy. So I've got that, and due to my bilirubin being increased, I ended up with a gallstone. Like I had this gallstone for a long time. We don't know exactly how long, but we are thinking that possibly this is from when I was 18 and got sick and stuff, because everything I went through at the time that my gallbladder had to be removed, I had gone through, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'd gone through it when I was 18, and it was horrible. So I had my gallbladder removed in 2017. It was October 30th, 2017 on a Monday. Yeah. And then it was October 28th, which was a Saturday, when I had to go to the emergency room. Woke up around 3 or 5 in the morning. I can't even remember when. Just in so much pain and so sick I couldn't stop um, getting sick and stuff. So my husband took me to the emergency room, where they gave me pain medication and something for the nausea. And like even whenever we got to the hospital, I was so sick. They had to give me, like, instead of giving me the little kidney shaped pan that they usually give you, they gave me the big wash tub one. And then I was sitting there hitting the buzzer, yelling at him, I've got like some really dark green stuff coming out. It was like, oh my gosh, it was horrendous. And so, oh my gosh, I was in the hospital for a couple days. They did my surgery and I went home maybe 30 minutes after. I don't even remember. It wasn't that long after. Left the hospital in unicorn slippers and went to the store and got soup. But yeah, because of me having no gallbladder, I stopped taking the ibuprofen. I barely take ibuprofen now and stuff. Only, when I'm not feeling well, I'll take a little bit of something, but I try not to. Um, and the reason is because with me having no gallbladder, my liver is even more stressed. I mean, my liver's stressed enough because of the Gilbert syndrome, but now it's stressed even more because it's having to basically work harder. And after having my gallbladder removed, I mean, my bilirubin at the time, like normal count for bilirubin is 1.2. I don't know what it was when I was younger, but I know after I got married, whenever it had been tested before, it was usually around 1.9. It never really went over. I know since about 2010, it's always been around 1.9. My liver enzymes have only barely gone up, um, like once or twice or something, and that was due to me taking ibuprofen. They said that will affect that, so I stopped taking it, and they went back to normal. Um, so I've always stayed around 1.9 with my bilirubin. It's been fine. I get a little jaundice in my eyes, no big deal. Get my gallbladder taken out, and my bilirubin, it's supposed to go down because the the thing that was causing increased bilirubin at that point was the gallstone. Now, prior, my bilirubin was probably increased because I have Gilbert syndrome and do not metabolize certain things, including alcohol. And being young and everything, we tend to do unhealthy stuff like indulge in alcohol and poor diet and stuff like that, which does affect our livers and just everything. I mean, there's so much stuff. I wish I knew all of this when I was that age. I would have been a total health nut then, so I wouldn't have to deal with it now. But yeah, so I stopped doing all that and everything. My bilirubin, I honestly think it did go down to normal because I felt so amazing once I got over the pain and stuff. I was feeling good. I was so energetic. I was up just doing so much. I was able to get up and do my housework without issue. I did not tire easily like I did before. I mean, I'd get a little sore because I've got the arthritis, but I I had the motivation to move. Like I had the energy and stuff. And I mean, I have ADHD. An ADHD person has loads of energy usually, and I mean, they can get up and clean and do so much stuff and not have an issue with it. Me right now, I do good to, get up and, make meals. I get tired easily now. So I did really good for the first few months. Like, what was it? I had that the end of October. I did great during November, was on a healthy diet, did great during December, still on a healthy diet. I mean, had a little slip with the diet wise and stuff around Christmas time. I ate some stuff I probably shouldn't have. I paid for it, but still, followed my diet really well and stuff. Other than that, um, came into January, I started feeling real fatigued. I started like having major issues with fatigue. Not, too drastic, but it was noticeable. I wasn't as motivated to get up and do. And it was, it was starting to bother me because I was enjoying being able to get up and do stuff. Like I was making homemade graham crackers, homemade cereal, and homemade instant oatmeal, and all this stuff. And then it was starting to slowly just like, I want to do it, but I am too tired to get up and do it. So that really started slacking for me. And I ended up, I think it was in February, I went to the doctor because I think it was like 1st of February or something. I'd went to the bathroom in our local Walmart. And I was washing my hands looking in the mirror, and I noticed my eyes were real yellow. And I noticed my skin looked real yellow. And I was just so tired. My eyes were bloodshot looking and stuff. And I came out and I told my husband, I said, something is seriously wrong. I need to go to the doctor soon. I mean, I don't feel like myself and stuff. Something's not right. So I think it was soon after that, because it was sometime in February, we went to the doctor for our yearly checkups and stuff. And I told the doctor, well, he wasn't even a doctor, it's nurse practitioner, our old PCP. I told him, I said, something's not right. I'm extremely fatigued. I look like I'm jaundiced, like extremely jaundiced, and I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be having issues with my bilirubin at all. My gallbladder's gone. What's going on? So he runs blood tests and stuff to do the usual checkup and everything on us. And it comes back that my bilirubin is either it was 3.2 or 3.9. I cannot remember. I know it was high. It was like higher than it should have been. Like I went from 1.9 right before my gallbladder's removed to, let's see, that's October, like 3 months later, because that was the end of October. Yeah, about 3 months later or so, to it being 3.9 or whatever, 3 point something. I was like, dude, that's not right. There's something wrong here. I had to go to the emergency room like a few weeks later. It might have been the next month or something. It might have been in April. I'd went to the emergency room for pain in my side. And the emergency room doctor's like, your liver in area is very tender. He ended up doing a CAT scan on me just to make sure I did not have a stone in there, or that something didn't, happen in there, because I have like these clips in my side and everything. So he ran a CAT scan to make sure all of that was okay. And he's like, well, all that looked fine, but you need to go to the doctor and have an ultrasound done. So I went to the doctor, and that's when I had my x-ray done on my back also. I had my x-ray done on my back and ultrasound done on my liver. And the liver ultrasound come back as normal, except for one little factor, which was my liver was enlarged. So when they called me and told me that my liver was enlarged, which is what's causing the pain in my side, I asked them, okay, do I need to follow up with the PCP? And they said, no, why would you? Like, because I've got a swollen liver. I mean, my liver's enlarged, it's inflamed. Why else wouldn't I? Oh, everything else is normal. There's no issue there. I'm like, there's an issue if my liver is enlarged. And oh my gosh, it was horrible. They were very lazy about stuff. So since dealing with all of that, and then I started going through even more health stuff of having really horrible vertigo, trying to find out, what's going on with that, because I started having left arm pain whenever I would get dizzy. And come to find out, the left, because we thought, okay, I went to the hospital and they're like, well, everything's looking normal. You're not having a major stroke. Like, okay, well, what could cause all this? Like, possibly a small stroke. I'm like, okay, what's the difference? Why wouldn't a small stroke show up? They're like, because it doesn't leave a mark on the brain, basically. Went through CAT scan and stuff for all that. And their thing was I could possibly be having what they call a TIA. And I can't even pronounce, I don't even remember what it stands for, but basically it boils down to a mini stroke where there's just could be like a split second uh, blockage, like, or something that causes the blood flow to be blocked for a split second, stuff to part of the brain, because with whatever was going on, it was causing stuttering at times. I don't even remember what else. Stuttering and oh my gosh, it was just such a long, long line of issues. But we found out the left arm pain was not from anything like that. That's when they started telling me and explaining to me about the cervical spondylosis and what it can actually end up doing to my arms and everything. It causes nerve pain because the arthritis causes inflammation in the muscles, which can contract. I can have muscle spasms that are painful, muscle cramping that is very painful. Um, Nerve pain through my arm. Like I've had pain down my left arm all the way up to my elbow. It made my elbow feel like I hit my funny bone, and then the rest completely numb. Um, I got put on muscle relaxers, Mobic, and oh yeah, naproxen. Like I want to say around January, or no, it was end of December maybe. But that's not my cup of tea. I do not like taking medication because again, the liver, it stresses the liver out, and I'd rather heal my body naturally than with stuff that's just going to make me sicker. So I've gotten into over the years, like as I'm having all these things going on and stuff with me throughout the years, I study it as best as I can to understand it because there's so much more to things like, for example, the Gilbert syndrome. There's so much more to it than just what people in the medical field will really share with you. And you have to break it down. Instead of looking up Gilbert syndrome, I had to actually learn which part of the liver it affects, which enzyme it's affecting, look up what that part of the liver is for, what it cleanses out of the body, if that is affected in any way, what it can cause, and stuff like that. So learning how things, you know, happen in the body, I've been able to learn a good bit about healing myself with my food. Okay, how is my food that I eat affecting me? Um, Stuff like that. I started the Mediterranean diet last year, which it's pretty close to how I ate prior, anyways. And I I need to work on actually being more serious with it, but removing a lot of sugars from my diet. Like I was eating regular wheat bread and thought, okay, this is very healthy for me and stuff like that. And it really isn't because I don't get my fiber and my grains in through that bread. Um, and instead, I mean, yeah, it slowed down the whole glucose spike I would get from white bread. It slowed that effect down, so I didn't get it like I did before, but it was not healthy for me. I actually started eating whole grain oatmeal bread, which is actually pretty good. Uh, I mean, just like little changes. I make homemade pasta. We'll make wheat pasta at times for the husband and kids, and have eaten our regular white pasta. But I'll make like wheat pasta sometimes. I love wheat pasta. I've started doing zoodles. I've got a spiralizer now for my KitchenAid that I got for, I didn't get it for Christmas. I think we just seen it. It was on sale or something, so we had gotten it. So I got that. and I'll do like zoodles with zucchini. And I want to try other types of squash and stuff. I love squash. Um, and I saute it in olive oil and grape seed oil. I've found to be really good for you. Um, Olive oil to me is better as a cold dressing type thing instead of cooking with it. But when I don't have grapeseed oil, I will cook with olive oil. Um, I cut back on salt. I'm trying to cut back on sugar. Sugar is like it's my um sugar is my addiction basically. Out of all things to be addicted to, I'm addicted to sugar. Um, but yeah, I've learned about food. Sugars cause inflammation in the body, so that's why I worked on cutting that out as much as possible. I also replaced my muscle relaxers with CBD oil. I take a CBD oil supplement. It's a hemp supplement. It's like hemp oil or the ground up hemp seed in a capsule with CBD oil added to it. And I believe it is 10 milligrams. Yeah, because it's the same milligrams as what my muscle relaxer is. And like if I have one of those horrendous cramps and I take one muscle relaxer, it knocks me out. I've been like gone for hours that not make me sleepy, go to drive somewhere and be like driving, I mean, anywhere, just driving to the store or something with my kids and, go to come back and then it decide to hit me, like be extremely delayed, like hours later. And I don't like that. So the CBD oil, the same milligram as the muscle relaxer, and it does the same for me as my muscle relaxer, which is very nice. Um, and if it's a extremely bad cramp that I'm having, I can actually take two instead of one. And you can't do that with the muscle relaxer. If it doesn't ease it up enough and stuff, you just have to deal with it for the time frame until you can take a second muscle relaxer. The only thing that the muscle relaxer really helped with when it came to those really bad ones was just knocked me out and I slept through it. Um, I've also recently started taking a a turmeric supplement. It's a turmeric curcuminous complex. I don't even know what that second word is, but it's like a 500 milligrams supplement and stuff. And the reason why I take these is somebody had suggested for me to take turmeric for inflammation. And I mean, I've heard people talk about this and stuff for a good while. And I mean, Indian people who cook with it and other anti-inflammatory herbs and spices are really healthy. They don't have the issues that us Americans do. Um, but this friend of mine and stuff, she had suggested this to me, and I'm like, I've heard people talk about this and everything, and nah, it doesn't seem like something that I would like because I'm not. I don't know. I really need to start cooking with it with that spice and stuff because it is part of the Mediterranean diet. But this past Friday, I was sitting at my son's therapy. My son does occupational therapy and stuff. And I was sitting there in the waiting room. My husband had taken our older two kids over to Hobby Lobby, and he was talking about avocado oil and some other type of oil base that they had there for soaps and stuff for people who make soaps. And I'm like, oh, I probably need to get some avocado oil. I want to make some turmeric uh, body butter because my friend who suggested for me to start using this for inflammation had told me about how she uses this body butter that another friend, it's a mutual friend of ours, um, had made that she bought from her and stuff, and she uses it on her eczema, and it helps clear it up. And I've got eczema like really bad. I've got it on my face and my feet and stuff. I'm like, well, I want to make this and see if it helps with my eczema. Like, that'd be awesome. So I mentioned it to my husband and stuff. Like, I looked it up online and stuff for a recipe. And I'm like, I need to get some turmeric oil, or because it takes a long time to make my own. And and so he's like, okay, well, I can't find that here. I'm like, no, I don't think it'll be there. Probably have to get to a health food store to find it. So we did our shopping and stuff at Sam's Club, and I had to use the restroom. And as I come out of the restroom, they're on an aisle looking at some supplements, and he's like, they've got turmeric supplements over here. I'm like, what? I didn't even know that they made that in a supplement. I'm like, well, I could get it and try it, see how it does. And he's like, well, I don't want to buy it and end up being something you're allergic to. I'm like, well, I'm not going to know until I try it. So I got those, and you take these like whenever you eat on a full stomach. So I've taken them 2 days now. I took them, no, I took it Saturday too, so 3 days now, I guess. I took one Saturday, took one Sunday, and took one today. I've only had to take one CBD oil yesterday because I had a little slight tightness in my shoulder, nothing too bad. Like, I'll get, beforehand and stuff, I'd get like tightness in the muscle going all the way up through the back of my head. I mean, that's how bad it was getting. It was going up through my neck, up through the back of my head. I would get it on the side of my neck, not just the back, but like the side of my neck, and it would go down like my shoulder. It would tighten up through the muscle in my left breast, down through my ribs, and into my left shoulder blade. And it was horrible. Like, and once one muscle like that, because it's caused from inflammation, you get inflammation in one area, and that inflammation starts aggravating other areas. That's why it would spread down my arm. It would aggravate the next group of muscles, which would cause that to start either having muscle spasms or cramping or something, because it's pressing on the nerves and it's irritating those nerves. So it's gonna, you get the nerve pain and stuff, and it causes things to swell. I mean, it causes inflammation, so it just moves on to the next area and just keeps moving and moving and moving until you're like screaming bloody murder, wanting it to stop. So yeah, I'm still educating myself on a lot of different things I can be taking. I've got another supplement. I've taken it in the past for my bilirubin to help bring it down, because I've read it helps with all of that. It's a calcium D glucarate, I believe it is, and I actually have to stop taking that for right now though, because it wasn't causing me to have pain in my liver, but I don't know if it was really helping either. I mean, it might have been trying to push too much out through my liver and stuff. I started having really bad pain in my side, and so I stopped taking that right now, because what that does is it mimics what is missing or lacking in my liver for those chemicals to bind to it and detox out of the system. And I really don't know if that's like a gentle detox or not, to try and push so much out. I honestly don't know. But the turmeric supplement I've ended up reading also is another thing suggested for Gilbert syndrome, because it's supposed to help detox the body and the liver. So that also helps with that, which would be amazing. And I'm hoping, honestly, that it's helping with the inflammation in my liver, because I would love for that to not be enlarged any longer. My husband also has started taking this. He's got fatty liver. He recently was found to have fat cells in his liver. And I read that this is supposed to help with fatty liver. So he started taking it as well. Plus, he's changed his diet up. He still is working on changing his diet. It's baby steps because it's totally different from how he's used to eating. And even for me, I still struggle some days with eating the way I should because I start craving the things I shouldn't. So yeah, it's a journey for us. On top of trying to get healthier and everything, we're trying to lose weight. I actually ended up losing a good bit of weight from my gallbladder surgery because once my gallbladder was gone, I did not have a uh, an issue with processing fat, I guess you could say, like beforehand. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was oh my goodness, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up and probably actually do a discussion about it and stuff in the future because it's really interesting. Um, because of my gallbladder being like it was, it basically did not break down fat the way it should. Instead of my body being fueled by the fats I was eating, the fat basically was leaving the body, but the body thought it was starving. So it started storing everything I ate, even with me eating healthy, it started storing it as fat. So after they removed my gallbladder, I dropped about 15 to 20 pounds. Like I think I lost 10 pounds in 1 week as it was. And I know like part of that was water weight because I wasn't bloated anymore. Like I would bloat so bad. Um, like I could eat one thing and stuff like, and I would bloat so bad. It was horrible and painful too. So yeah, I'm I'm all kinds of messed up, I guess you could say. But considering I'm still pretty healthy, I'm actually waiting to see a GI. We've got a new doctor now. He's awesome, and he's actually doing stuff like I have a knot on my arm. My old PCP sat there and said, "I don't know what it is. Let us do a ultrasound on it." All they did was do an ultrasound to check to make sure I had good blood flow in my arm right there. Never tried to find out what this knot is in my arm. And he's like, "Well, I guess it's muscle. Just don't lift weight with that arm." And I mean, I'm going to the gym like every day at time and stuff. I'm like, well, okay. So that kind of harshed my exercise vibe. And and I was doing physical therapy. And my physical therapy consists of weight and stuff, using my arm to build up my shoulders and everything and my back. So I go back like some months later and I'm like, it's not still in my arm. It's not going away. He just looks at it and goes, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what it is. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You're supposed to be my healthcare provider and stuff. Make sure I don't have cancer in my arm. So I go to the new doctor. Very, very, very awesome man. I absolutely love him. And my first visit with him, I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I've got this knot in my arm. I've had this for, I think, about a year, possibly longer, because I don't know when it actually was there. I just happened to notice it one evening. I told him, I said, and my last PCP did an ultrasound to check blood flow. Blood flow's fine in my arm right there, but never did anything more. Just kept saying, I don't know what it is. You just have to deal with it. And he checked it and stuff, pressed around on it and everything, and looked at me and said, you have a lipoma in your arm, which is basically a collection of fat cells. It's a fatty tumor. They're usually non-cancerous. But yeah, I've got just a lump of fat in my arm. It's not too big. It's like right where my my arm bends. But yeah, one visit, looks at it for a few seconds, tells me exactly what it is, and the other PCP couldn't even do that. He also like sat down with me and stuff because I told him that I'd been going to the doctor and stuff. I'd been dizzy and had all these things and stuff going on, and that they found out from an MRI. I ended up having two MRIs done. One was done on my brain, And then later that year, I had a second one done to check the arteries and vessels in my brain, which it was supposed to check my head and neck because a neurologist said that there must be uh, lack of blood flow between my neck and my head. So they don't check my neck, but the woman that does my MRI and stuff, she's also really awesome. I explained to her what was going on, that they found out about cervical spondylosis, blah 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 blah. So she said, I'm going to scan down as low as I can. So she ends up going a little lower than what they normally would for doing that. And from her doing that, they were able to find, I think I just hit my microphone, so I apologize. I think they were able, I think from her going lower, they were able to find that I had an abnormality with my left vertebral artery, which those arteries, there's a left and a right one that go through your vertebrae. And what it is mine is half the normal size of the other one, which when I went to the vascular doctor, he said that's perfectly normal for one to be dominant over the other one. But I don't know, because the doctors here and stuff said, that's not normal. It is a birth defect. But the vascular doctor was like, oh, it's perfectly fine. So I'm guessing it's not affecting anything because of the way the vessels and stuff run in that area. You still get the blood flow that you need to the brain. And mine is still flowing. Mine flows to my brain. I have blood flow, But since I'd gotten started on the muscle relaxers, I really have not had any issues with the dizziness. Now, I have noticed at times when I've had the tightening in my muscle that's in the back of my neck and stuff up through my head, it does make me feel lightheaded. I have times when I do feel a little lightheaded and stuff, but I don't. It's not like before. Like, I would get extreme vertigo where I was getting sick. I was actually on medicine that's like Dramamine just so I could function through the day. Even laying down, everything would spin and I would have to take medicine or I'd be in the bathroom sick all day. And then taking that made me even more fatigued than I already was. So yeah. Uh, so that's been a real serious journey for me and stuff. So, you know, I'll be sharing and stuff throughout. Um, I'll be sharing on our journey and stuff of becoming healthier, the results and stuff. Like right now, we're trying to lose weight. I haven't really been doing my cardio. I've been bad about that here lately, but my husband's been doing his cardio as much as possible. He rides our recumbent bike to get his cardio in. I probably need to start riding the bike since I haven't been doing my workout. I was doing I don't even remember what it's called now. I was doing Taibo, which that was actually fun. I like doing shadow boxing and stuff. I always enjoyed it back before in kickboxing. So yeah, I'll be sharing more and stuff. I'll share like tips of things that I find are helpful. Um, things that we use that we like. Um, Healthy snacks, recipes, stuff like that. I love reviewing things. I mean, I might not like get in huge detail on some stuff at times, but I do like to suggest really good products to people, because if it's something that I will actually suggest, then it means I fully believe in that product and it has worked for me. Like in the past, even just suggesting tips on something. Like I used to do direct sales, which I still do it, just not very active, but I did direct sales in the past, and I would help give training tips on building your business online, like using Facebook and such. And I would find tips online and I would implement what I'm reading. If it worked for me, I would share it. If it didn't, I wouldn't. I would use my personal experience of what's working for me to pass on to these ladies and stuff, because I'm not going to sit there and be all, oh, this will work for you and yeah, blah blah blah. No, I'm going to sit there and tell you that I personally tried this and it worked for me. You can try it, it might work for you, whatever, but this is how I did it. And for some people, it works better for them than it would me. For some, it just all depends. So yeah, I'm the same way with products I actually use. Like, if I find a product that I absolutely love, I'm going to share it. If I find like a life hack that makes something so much easier for me, I'm going to share it. I mean, that's just how I am. I'm not going to sit there and just be all, oh, I just saw this online. It looks like it'd be interesting to make a video on or talk about or blog about, and not actually try it first. I'm going to actually try it and tell you, look, I just tried this. I loved it. Or if I didn't like it, I tried this and it was, this is the result I got. It wasn't that good. I mean, it might work for you, but for me, it didn't. If you try it out, let me know, one of those types of things. So I'm going to bring this recording to an end. It has been a very enjoyable talk. And honestly I did not think I would end up sharing like my whole medical thing and stuff that's going on. But, if you are somebody going through anything like this, I don't want people to feel like they're alone. There are so many people out there struggling with weight loss, like losing the weight and stuff, or even weight gain. People out there struggling with their diets and just feeling like they are completely alone and don't have support and everything. But if you want positive support in doing this, let me know. I will be right there cheering you on. I am the best cheerleader for people. I'm like the worst for myself, but I am the best cheerleader for people. Um, if you're dealing with disability, even, you're not alone. I'm disabled. It's it's a pain. I deal with, like pain, um, almost daily. Some days I actually don't. Like here lately and stuff, since I've been taking my supplements, it's not too bad. Uh, just, I mean, just trying to get through the day as a parent is hard enough sometimes because you end up tired. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't work. I homeschool my children. They're, they're pretty independent and stuff as it is because they're older ages. My oldest helps me a lot. It's just, you know, it's it's really hard to explain. It's just, one of those things. But yeah, if you have disability and stuff, you're not alone. There are lots of people that go through this on a daily basis that know exactly where you're coming from. And then you have, the people who are negative towards you about it, like, oh, oh my gosh, I can't even get into it. Like, people that sit there and say, oh, you don't look disabled. Because there are some of us who have disability that does not show. I mean, only way you know that I have scoliosis is if you just so happen to notice how I stand, which most people think I just have poor posture. I mean, I am twisted around forward a little bit, and one of my shoulders is a little higher than the other. Nothing that's extremely noticeable. So yeah, it's like an invisible disability. Chronic pain is an invisible disability. The cervical spondylosis is an invisible disability. The genetic liver disorder is classified as an invisible disorder. And there is so many disabilities, diseases, and disorders out there that people don't show it. They don't look sick. They don't look like they're in pain because they've dealt with it so much for so long that they've learned how to wear a mask, basically, where the public sees one side but not the other. There are days, like literally, there have been days in the past when I did not want to climb out of bed at all. I just wanted to lay there because I ached so bad. Like my back was hurting, my hips were hurting, my ankles even hurt at times because I've got arthritis in my ankles. And it's just like those days and stuff, you just don't want to do anything. You just want to sleep. Because honestly, if you're in pain, that's what your body wants to do. Your body wants to sleep, it wants to recover. That's its natural reaction, is to sleep. And you get people who don't understand that. And yes, buddy, I hear you meowing at me. You get people who don't understand that, and they just they just sit there and like, you don't look sick, you don't look disabled, you're lying, you're making things up, you're a hypochondriac. I have actually been called a hypochondriac before in the past. And I mean, I wasn't acting sick. I was still doing stuff and everything. My husband was just, talking about the different things that I had wrong with me health wise, like about my liver and my scoliosis and all this other stuff. And I've got asthma. And I mean, my list goes on. There's more to me than just the major stuff I'd mentioned. I mean, I've got allergies like crazy and tons of other things. And this man who lived next door to us and stuff, my husband was talking to him and he was mentioning all this stuff. And he's like, "You're hypochondriac," looking at me like there's no way I have this stuff wrong with me. I'm like, "No, I'm not." He goes, "Well, you don't look sick and you don't look disabled." And I'm like, just because I don't look sick and disabled doesn't mean that I don't have these things wrong with me. I was a very sickly child and stuff growing up. I had a lot of issues. So yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, I need to actually close out the podcast because I don't want it to be extremely long, but I do hope that it has brought some eye-opening information to everybody and stuff about myself and my life, and about some of the future and stuff for my channel of what I hope to bring and stuff in the future and what I do plan on bringing. I will be doing a little more talking and stuff about health and wellness because that is one of my huge passions. And I want people, to know. I mean, there is hardly any information out there about a lot of things. Like even just me trying to find information out about things and stuff, it's like almost impossible sometimes. So yeah, I plan on sharing more and stuff, and I hope you guys have enjoyed my first podcast. If you have, let me know. You can comment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you get notifications when I upload videos and more podcasts in the future. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All three of those, all you have to do is type in the URL and the little slash. I don't know if it's forward or back because I'm just not cool like that. And type in behind it the not D, but the THE Wendy C life. It's all about the Wendy C life, the life that I'm living and the journey I'm taking. And I'm bringing all of you along with me. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time.